Everything was perfect in the Garden of Eden. It was not until one day, I don't know where Adam had gone, but it appears that at this present moment, Eve was by herself. When this uninvited guest came, people love parties, but they don't love to prepare. People love to be invited and they love to come and enjoy, but in the process of building, they don't want. They don't want to work. So the same thing, the devil didn't work in the preparation of the Garden of Eden. And that's why he came when everything was already done and prepared, when everything was perfect, because he wanted to come and bring destruction. I'm going to show you what happened on that day when the devil showed up in a form of a snake. Let us turn to the book of Genesis, chapter 3, and let's see what happens there. Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, Has God indeed said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, We may eat the fruit of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God said, You shall not eat, it shall not, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. Then the serpent said to the woman, You will not die, for God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree desirable to make one wise, she took its fruit and ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves coverings. So you see, this is where everything began. This is where the alteration of God's plan began, when an uninvited guest showed up. He showed up and brought this destruction. That's why you and I hate each other. That's why you and I are judging each other. That's why you and I are blaming each other for everything that happens. That's why you and I cannot stand each other. That's why there's war everywhere. That's why, families are not united. That's why kids are so depressed, because they don't know who they are. They don't know their identity, because you as a parent have not played your role. That's why churches today are different from churches back then. Because churches today, all they're focusing on is they're focusing on how many people we have in church, and we are focused on how much we're going to make and on ourselves. That's what I see. I'm not talking to you who knows how to walk in the Word of Christ, but I'm talking to you who knows where you are in your walk with Christ. If your walk is perfect, don't worry about this. But you have some imperfection in it. That's why we have to come to Christ. If you've been watching my previous video, Altering God's Plan, this is where everything began, in this book of Genesis. Let us take our focus now out of this chapter and we again see the uninvited guest go and tempt God himself, and God who is in flesh, Jesus. So let us turn to the book of Matthew chapter 4. Then we see where it says, Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, afterwards he was hungry. Now when the tempter came to him, he said, "If you are the Son of God, command that these stones become bread." But he answered and said, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." Then the devil took him up into the holy city, set him on the pinnacle of the temple, and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, He shall give His angels to charge over you. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone." Jesus said to him, "It is written again, You shall not tempt the Lord your God." Again, the devil took him on an exceedingly high mountain, and showed him all the kingdom of the world and their glory. And he said to him, "All these things I will give you, if you will fall down and worship me." Then Jesus said to him, "Away with you, Satan, for it is written, You shall not worship the Lord your God, and only Him shall you serve." So, you see, this is what happens. All the two scenarios where the uninvited guest appears, he appears in spirit. All these things, before they actually can happen in the natural, they begin in the supernatural, in the spiritual man. It is the spiritual man that is tempted, and it is the physical that decides whether he's going to fight against the spirit that is fighting with the spiritual man, or he's going to let the spiritual man loose. Jesus shows us the capability we have as man to fight, as mankind, that includes women and men together. He gives us the capability, the strength we have to fight against situations in the spiritual realm. Things are happening because things that are happening that are negative are happening because we have allowed them to happen in the spiritual realm. We have given in. We are not strong. That's why we have to look up to God and pray to Him. So this is what I wanted to share with you. The unexpected visitor. The uninvited guest. Somebody who shows up in the party and ruins everything. If anybody has ever ruined your life, just remember that the unexpected guest showed up and was used by them. Remember, there's two sides to this story. So just don't hold on to one side, that the uninvited guest is there to ruin my life. You're gonna flip it up. Hold on tight. We're gonna talk in our next video about my purpose and your purpose in my life. So hang in tight. That's why we're gonna flip the coin to the other side. So for today, be blessed. Think about it. Read the book of Genesis chapter 3 and read the book of Matthew chapter 4. Sit down and relax and allow God to speak to your heart. I'm pretty sure that many things are going to be revealed in your heart, because that's why we're having all this chaos. You will have the answer to make things right. Have a blessed day and take care.